Yo, what's going on, guys? Now this video that you're about to see was going to be footage on my PvP Ark series, but unfortunately when I recorded this I did not have this set up correctly, so my tribe members' voices and whatnot is not actually coming through. So instead of doing that, I've decided to create a how to prepare for your first raid video, and you know, I already done that and I forgot to let you guys know the backstory behind this video and why it's not actually going to be a PvP video. But here you go, here's the intro. I hope you guys understand, and yeah, I'll let the video go. Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Jay Cartere, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to prepare for your first raid, or you know, sharing a few tips that I think would help you prepare for your first raid. As I've been on a few raids now, about, I don't know, probably still less than 10, because we don't really focus on raiding. We don't really go out with the, you know, with the thought that, yo, we're gonna raid everyone and whatnot, because we got a lot of building and defenses to do, and we kind of want to secure our position before we go out and try and, you know, raid other people and do stuff like that. So yeah, we've really been focusing on securing our position and not getting raided ourselves. But we have been on a few raids. I have been on a few raids, and it wasn't too long ago that I went on my first ever raid, and it was an ordeal. It was an ordeal, because I had to learn myself through, you know, the whole raiding process, like what we needed and all that sort of stuff. And it took about a day to prepare in advance, and then the next day we actually went to the raid. In preparation or beforehand, I believed that we'd be able to prepare and then go to raid on the day, but you know, on the normal official servers, it takes a bit of time to grind out the materials and whatnot. So yeah, you have to basically prepare in advance for the raids, and it may take a very long time to get stuff done, or you may have stuff stocked up already and you might just be able to go out to raid. But either way, in this video I'm going to be you know, giving you guys a few tips that I believe would have helped me out on my first raid, and a few things that I've come to learn over the time throughout our raid. So first things first, the first thing I'd tell you guys to do is download the SA Companion app for raid calculations. Now this app, when you go into it, let me actually go into it so I can see how this works out myself and tell you guys how it works. So when you go into it, there's 3 white lines at the top left of the app, and then when you click that, you can go and navigate to the raid calculator. Now this raid calculator has not been updated since the C4 buff and the rocket nerf, so keep that in mind. Now these calculations are what we have in our raid chat, but we've come to know that basically it's a little different. So on this raid calculation, it says that a metal door will take 5 C4 to blow and 4 RPGs. Now in practice, I've seen a metal door currently takes about 2 C4 to blow, and I'm unsure on the RPG. So I'd say the C4 calculations from this calculator, unless it changes like when this video's out or in the future, half the C4, and I don't know what to do with the RPGs right about now because I haven't tested it out. But if you guys want to test it out and leave a comment down below, that would be really, really great and really, really helpful. So as it says, where's the metal wall? The metal wall actually says it will take 8 C4 and 6 RPGs, and in our actual in our testing and what we found out is that a metal wall takes 3 C4, so it's a little less than half the actual things that it's telling you it's going to take. So on this it says the C4s, it will take 40 C4 to break a vault. I'd assume it probably take around 80, but I'd bring 20 anyways. I'd probably bring the whole 40 really, to be honest, just in case. And you always want to bring a little more than you need on a raid, just in case you go out and you don't have everything you need. I wouldn't say, you know, don't bring too much in excess, because you might die and lose it. But generally when you go to battle, you don't want to go to battle thinking, I'm probably gonna die, so I don't want to bring anything. You want to go to battle fully prepared with the mind state that you're going to win, so that you actually, you know, don't die. When we go on raids and when we go to battles, I tell my guys, don't die. That's the rule. That's the rule of the raid. Don't die. Obviously, like, if they die or whatnot, it's all fun and games. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, that is what I want people to be thinking about when they're on the raid. Just don't die. Like, that's all you have to do. As long as you don't die and your bird doesn't die, everything's calm. Like, you can get picked, you can get hurt, you can lose all your armor. If you got a sleeping bag down, it really doesn't matter if you die. But like, the biggest priority is to make sure your bird doesn't die, to be honest. As long as your bird doesn't die, you can get back in the battle, you can keep it going. But if everyone has that survival mindset, like, you know what, we don't want to die, then it makes things, you know, a whole lot better. Like, we hardly ever die when we go on raids, and I don't know if it's just, you know, because we're good PvP players, or if, you know, the organization is just very good, or I don't know, but we hardly ever die. Like, I think I've probably died in this game in Ark probably like 3 times in the past couple months, in the past month or so, like 3 times, 4 times, less than 10 times definitely, because like you can just survive. If you play smart and you play like you don't want to die, you can survive. But anyways, rockets are the cheapest explosives for you to make, you know, minus grenades, like the cheapest effective explosives to make if you don't have good access to silica pelts and electronics. But rockets, and the rocket launcher weighs about 20 weight. I was gonna say kilograms or something, but there is no, I don't think there is an actual weight measuring system in Ark, but yeah, it weighs like 20. And C4 is like, it weighs way less. The remote detonator and all the C4 weighs way less. So if you're trying to go on a raid and you want to pick up a lot of stuff, definitely C4 is the way to go. But if you don't have access to silica pills and that, then, you know, rockets may be the way to go for you. But keep in mind that it costs 20 weight. I believe since they nerfed all the rocket launchers, you can probably shoot about 15 rockets or something. Before it was like 10 rockets and then your rocket launcher broke. I heard on Reddit that your rocket launcher would blow up in your face if it broke, which I found out that is actually not the case, because yesterday we went on a raid and I fired my rocket launcher until it broke and it didn't blow up in my face. So, you know, maybe there's a glitch where it does break up where it does blow up in your face. This is Ark, to be honest, so everyone's experience is not going to be the same, and there are a bunch of glitches and bugs. But yeah, I would say, you know, bring about 20 rockets or 20 C4. That should be enough for your first raid. 20 rockets, probably you won't be able to shoot that all with one rocket launcher, so have like 2 rocket launchers spread throughout you guys. And 20 C4, you can hold that on yourself, you know, no worries. But I'd also say spread that throughout you guys. But if you don't have enough for multiple remote detonators, then, you know, of course, just have one dedicated explosives guy, and then that person can hold all the explosives and all that sort of shit, and you just protect that person at all fucking costs. Because if you lose the explosives, then you really can't do much to a base at that point. You can't shoot your way in or anything. You just need to wait for someone to leave the door open or something like that. And if there's turrets about, then it's going to be, you know, a pretty wild time trying to get in there. But grenades are also cheap early game raiding gear. They can be used to test turret lines of sight. That's what I try to use them for now and then. Sometimes it works, sometimes it blows up in my face, literally. So be careful with that, because if the turret has a line of sight on you and you throw that grenade, it might blow up as soon as you throw it. Or, you know, if the turret range is set on a little lower, it will probably go a little further, and then you can see where the turret's actually shooting. So I'd say get naked for this, put a sleeping bag down, and throw to your heart's content. I'd say about 50 to 75 grenades is the number I'd settle on for my first raid. That may sound like a lot, but when you see how much damage grenades do to structures, you probably want to bring more than that, to be honest. Like, so I'd say, you know, have a dedicated explosives guy, as I said before. Let them have all the grenades on them, and then he just dishes them out to people as they want to throw the grenades down. And, you know, focus on doors, obviously, because those are the weakest things, or foundations if you can't get to a door. Even though foundations are quite strong, but you know, usually people have double walls and whatnot, so if you're raiding a metal base, you might want to go for the foundations, but they might have triple foundation and all that sort of shit. So if you blow up a foundation and a foundation is still there, you might want to just leave it if you don't have the resources to get through. I'd also say bring 2 sets of armor, definitely. One you wear and a backup set on your bird. A backup set of weapons is also great, but not necessary. See, the disadvantages of bringing more weapons is they weigh a lot and will prevent you from picking up loot or even picking up people. So if you die, you can usually use your bird to kill someone and get their weapons also. So I generally don't bring backup weapons if I'm going on a raid, because I generally don't plan to die. If I ever get in a situation where it's dire and I'm about to die, I generally just run away and get out of it. That's what you should be doing. Survival at all costs. If you're gonna die, don't run into the battle head first, like, oh, I'm gonna die with, you know, glory and that. No, don't use it. Don't lose your resources. It's not smart. Talking of birds, I'd suggest you take terrors, as they're the best option for PvP in my personal opinion. Obviously you might have a different opinion. I'd also suggest you have one tribe member ride an RG to collect any loot. If you're, you know, planning to get a large amount of loot or whatnot, you can upload your loot to drops to keep it safe and download it when you're closer to base and are ready to unload. If you don't know how to upload things to the Ark and do that sort of stuff, you might want to check out my how to transfer items and dinos video, as that will really, you know, open up your eyes on all the things you can do with the obelisks and the Ark and that sort of stuff. Other gear you should definitely bring includes a spy glass, essential. Bowlers, the almighty bowlers, definitely essential. Parachutes, if you get picked, you're going to want to have a parachute, and it's cheaper than grappling hooks if you don't have those. Cooked meat, you need that for healing. Obviously you can eat rare mushrooms or rare flowers if you just need to get your hunger up, but cooked meat is the only thing that I know that heals you. I think vegetables may heal you also, but cooked meat does a pretty good job, so I definitely say bring some cooked meat. A ranged weapon, you definitely need a ranged weapon because you need to be able to hit people that are far away if you can't get close to them and if they're hiding behind turrets or something. And a melee weapon just in case you get a little close to someone. For the ranged weapon, I'd go with a long neck. You might want to go with whatever you got, a crossbow or something. I definitely would not suggest using a fabricated sniper or something like that unless you have a really good version of that. Definitely don't use a primitive one. I just think it's a waste of resources and bullets. We were raiding a tribe the other day, and they thought it was going to be a smart idea to bring out fabricated snipers, and every time we got shot it took down so little of our health, and we had so much time to just move out the way that it was just wasting bullets. They eventually brought out an assault rifle as well, which had done nothing. It was just a waste of resources and bullets as well. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Long necks and, you know, crossbows if need be. If you're like lower tier, mid tier, use a crossbow. I'd also suggest bringing a club. That is definitely essential, as if your opponent has good armor on them, it may take a while to pike them out or to sword them down, but a club can generally, you know, get rid of someone pretty quickly, depending on your melee damage also. But I'd always bring a club. It's always there just in case, you know, I start piking someone and it's a bit timely. It's a bit of a timely situation and I'm taking ages trying to kill him. I'm like, you know what, fuck this, let's get the club out, knock him out, take all his stuff, easy peasy, 3 pikes, you're dead. Probably not 3 pikes, I don't know, that wasn't, you know, the best calculations, I just made that up there. Maybe it's more than 3 pikes, but either way, you know, he's dead basically. Or we just keep him alive and put him in a cage, and I'll get onto that later. That is a very good strategy. And I'd say bring grappling hooks if you can. Now, I tell my guys it's essential because we have the resources to make grappling hooks, but earlier on in the game, grappling hooks aren't generally something that you got around all the time because it costs paste, and I think it costs like 9 metal, and you know, the rest of the resources are pretty basic, and a little and it costs stone arrows, so it's not too expensive. So if you can do it, definitely do it. Grapple hooks are a lifesaver. They definitely are very, very, very useful. Definitely grab those out. And on to the next tips. If you're planning to raid on your own server, I suggest getting some defenses on your base first. Make sure your defense is in order. If you raid someone, they're likely gonna want to come back for revenge, and if you have an undefended base, you can't really protect the loot you steal, so there's no point wasting the time and resources to get it. Also, being too aggressive and raiding for no reason all the time may convince people to team up against you and wipe you, so watch the politics of the situation too. This game is very much about politics and alliances, and you know, making sure you don't look like the bad guy, because you might be, you know, the person that gets posted on Reddit so people can come and fucking, you know, raid you or something. Someone might make a post on Reddit being like, oh, this guy's terrible, this tribe is a tyrant, oh, please take him out, or pay like $200 or something. It happens. So generally you want to be good people, and make sure you have your defenses up. I'd also say if you're going for raids on your own server and, you know, the person's offline and whatnot, don't kill dinos. You don't need to. Make sure you leave no trace, because then they don't know who raided them. You can just steal their stuff and get out, and that's really the point of the raid. You don't really want to waste resources and get nothing back. Like, the whole point of a raid is to get resources and to be more up than you was when you went in there, to have more shit than you did when you had in there, not to murder someone's dinos. The only reason I'd say murder someone's dinos is either they're online, so you need to for a strategic decision, or, you know, you really hate them and you want them to leave the server and you don't want them to build back up, so you need to get rid of everything they have just to let them know that, you know, you don't stay around here, bruv, basically. And tell you now, if you're going cross server raiding, you need to set up an FOB. You don't have a choice here. You should do this on your own server, but it's not 100% necessary. If you have faith in your abilities, although it is you should do this on your own server, but it's not 100% necessary if you have faith in your abilities, although it is strategically smart. On another server, you have no choice at all. I'd suggest a metal 2x1 with a bed and a few mortar and pestles for storage. Place it in some dense trees that will make it really hard to find, and if you can, build a reasonable distance from a drop point or an obelisk. A drop spawn point, by the way. You know them drops that come, you know what I'm talking about, supply drops. Also, use your spyglass and your aerial point of view to scout out the base you plan to raid, or bases, and find any weak points. Pick a point of entry that gives you the most cover from any defenses. Hide behind buildings or in buildings. A lot of people have a big dino pen but no turrets inside, and a lot of people make them out of stone, so they're pretty easy to get into, like 1 rocket or like 6 grenades or something, and you're basically in there, or 1 C4, you're in there, you're hiding behind, like you're hiding in their dino pen, and if all their dinos are neutral, you just lead them out, and, you know, lead them out to their death so they can go drown or something, and you don't even have to kill them if no one's online, and you don't need to, you know, put your name in their tribe log. But this gives you a big building to take cover in and plan your next move. If the person you're raiding is online, I'd say prioritize killing their flyers first. 1 skilled terror rider is enough to decimate a tribe of 4 people on land mounts. Once you take away the enemy's mobility and their means of fighting you in the air, they'll be forced to take shots from the land, or wait for you to pick them in order to try and pike you and your bird. Now, when we went on a raid the other day, it was a couple weeks ago actually, this tribe, basically we whittled down their resources. We couldn't get into their base because they had a bunch of turrets. We didn't have any turtles yet or anything that was capable of tanking the turrets, so we just, you know, murdered all their tames and whatnot, because they picked one of our guys and was talking all big in chat like they were the dog's bollocks basically, but they quickly changed their tone when they realized we weren't there to play and we would fuck their shit up. Well, yeah, we were there to play, to be honest. We wanted a bit of PvP action, and they came for it. We were scouting their base, and then we saw the turrets and was like, you know what, we don't have the resources to deal with that right yet, so we were gonna go, and then they decided to pick us. Video should be coming out soon, by the way. I don't know when this video is coming out, but in a couple weeks or something like that, the video should be out soon. So if you wanna check that out, I'll probably put a link right here on the video. No, actually I probably won't, because annotation will be gone soonish, so yeah. Just look through my PvP videos. But basically, after we had whittled down their resources and whatnot, like gotten rid of all their armor, all their guns, all that sort of stuff, they started just doing naked pike runs. Like they would come out, be naked, bait us into picking them, and then try and kill our birds and our characters basically. And that's what they was trying to do. So I picked up on that pretty I don't know if it was that quick, but I picked up on it. It was a pretty good tactic. It was a pretty good tactic. I'll rate that. If we didn't realize what they were doing, and if we hung on a little bit too long, we could have got murdered. But at that point, if you see someone naked, just worry about them doing that sort of shit, to be honest, because that's probably what they're trying to do. They're probably trying to do naked runs to just kill your bird, because once they kill your bird and they get rid of your birds and you can't fly and you're both on the land, then you're on equal footing. But as long as you're in the air and they're on the land, they are fucked. They got no chance, really. Like, there's flying mounts are just way above anything that's on the ground, to be honest, unless they got like a giga and you fly close to its mouth. If you're a clown, like, unless you do that, then you really aren't gonna get murdered by anything on the ground. You pretty much pick anyone off anything and stay alive and keep it moving, or just stay away from any land mounts that might give you any trouble. So you really don't have to worry about them at that point. When it comes to picking people, if they have armor, pick them and kill them. They'll probably have a parachute, so watch them fall to their deaths, or barrel roll them if they pop a shoot. If you miss the roll, continue picking that person until they're dead and out of parachutes, and then obviously take their gear, put on your bird, or re-gear yourself if they got better gear than you, and that's spare gear for you. That's another set of armor that you can use and whatnot. Last time I went raiding, I think I took home like 4 spare pieces of armor, 4 spare sets of armor or something. So you get a lot of spare armor than that, like that. And we also used someone's base to repair the armor. It was hilarious. So definitely look out for those situations where you can do that. If the person is naked though, I'd say pick them and drop them in some water far away from the base. Not too far that you're out of the battle for a very long time, but a reasonable amount away on foot. Remember, it's really, really long to travel on foot. So if you just sprint for a little while, like 30 seconds, maybe a minute away from the base, and drop them in some water, they'll take ages to get back to the base if they try and do that. Or the smart decision would be to try and kill themselves by drowning and respawn back at the base, but that will also take them a little bit of time, and then they may have a minute respawn timer, and they may have 5 minutes respawn timer on their bed. So that just takes them out of the fight for a little while. At that point where the guys are naked, you really just want to take them out of the fight as long as possible. Like, you don't really need to kill them or anything, because that's not doing anything but allowing them to respawn back at their base or wait 5 minutes or something. You really want to make things as inconvenient as possible for them to get in the battle, so you can have the area and on lockdown and the time to do exactly what you want. Now, either way that that person is out of the fight for a while, either they kill themselves by drowning or they try and get back to the base. And if you have enough members and the equipment, I'd say consider knocking people out and caging them also. That's a really great way to keep people out of the fight. But this video has started to go into how to raid and stuff like that, and raiding strats and that sort of stuff. And I'll definitely do a video on that. If you guys want it, leave a comment down below. But this video is on raid preparation, so I'm gonna leave that there. I feel like I've given you guys enough info to efficiently prepare for a raid. Let me know if I have not, or if I have, in the comment section below. Be sure to hit that like button if you like this video, as it really helps out the channel. Also be sure to subscribe, as I'll be putting out loads more Ark tips and tricks and my Ark PvP series that you can check out that you can check out on the playlist on the screen. The end card should be up now. I'm not 100% sure, but you should be able to use that, or the cards on the screen. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment, let me know what other types of videos you want to see. Let me know if you want to see my how to raid with raid strats and that sort of stuff video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long, so all this warmth I share with you.